I'm gonna have to be blunt here. I'm not sticking around with an old grandma anymore.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm saying that I'd rather be with a young woman any day, as opposed to with you. I had been trying my best to stick around with you for a while now. But as I knew what would happen, I've reached my limit. So can we get a divorce?
What are you saying, Randy? Huh? Are you being serious right now?
I mean, Liz, you're already 39 years old, right? You and I are 9 whole years apart in age. Back when I had married you was a time in which I was excited to be with an older woman, and so were a lot of other men. But now I wonder why the hell I ever got married to you in the first place. Even your skin feels a lot worse than that of a young gal's. And so with that, let's get divorced.
Have you hit your head on something? You know all that I've done for you up until now, right? And do you know why I'm in the hospital right now?
I know why.
I'm here to give birth to our baby. Yet during this very important and stressful time of our life, you're going on about wanting a divorce?
A 39-year-old giving birth to a baby is really the most disappointing thing I've ever heard of.
What?
And that's why I'm asking for a divorce. I'm telling you right now that I have another woman that I love. And she's a young gal whose skin is as soft as cotton candy. So that little brat that you're gonna give birth to isn't gonna get any love from me.
Wait, Randy. Can you not see how much of a jerk you're being right now? I've known for a bit now that you've been acting suspicious and probably had another lady, but I didn't think you'd drag all of that this far and into a relationship. What the hell are you talking about? I'm having a really hard time understanding what's going on with you. Is this all supposed to be a joke? Your timing is the worst for it. Why don't you go find somewhere to calm down a bit and rethink what you've just said to me?
Why don't I? Because while you've been in the hospital getting ready to give birth, I've moved out of the house.
Huh?
The apartment has been your place for the longest time now, even before I came. So it has nothing to do with me anymore. I moved all my things and myself out of there, and left the divorce papers on the counter for you. Go ahead and fill the rest in for me and hand them in.
Are you kidding me? I just had your daughter, Randy. What the actual hell are you going on about? Calm down right now, please.
I'm calm right now, Liz. No matter how you try and get me to stay with you guys, I'm never gonna love that little brat of yours. That thing is none of my business. And I can't even believe that you thought about having a baby at your age in the first place.
You're being a monster right now. She's your daughter as well, right? And after all the effort I have put into carrying and birthing her, you're going to say awful things like that? I'm not going to forgive you for this.
I couldn't care less if you forgave me or not. I'm never going to be seeing you ever again after this, so have fun being upset with me.
You don't even plan to ever come to see your baby's girl's face? This has all got to be some sort of joke.
I told you plenty of times now that it's not a joke. This is all very real and not a dream. I don't have the confidence to love a baby that was birthed by some old grandma at the age of 39. I don't even want to know what the poor soul looks like after coming out of you. So hurry up and leave me when you get home.
Well, then I'm never letting you see the two of us ever again.
Thank God. Now I'm on my way to being a free man again. I'm gonna have a lot more fun in my second life. I was never going to stay with you once you turned 40. And having to raise that kid beside you would have been hell. Thank God you're okay with going away. Goodbye now, Grandma.
But can you promise one thing to me before you go?
What?
I'll agree with getting the divorce. But in return for that, you are never to come back to me or my daughter if you ever need any help.
I don't plan to ever see you guys again. There's no reason for me to in the first place. So I promise to never come around you two again. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Well, if you're going to promise me that, then we can get a divorce. And of course I'm going to be getting full custody of my daughter.
You can have it. I don't even want to think of that brat as being mine.
Alright then. You may be one of the worst men on the planet, but thank you for giving me my beautiful daughter. Now please never show your face around us again.
I never will. But that also means you and that brat can never come looking for me either. Bye-bye, Grandma.
Goodbye forever, you pile of trash.
It's been a while, Liz. I'm going to the wedding right now.
Excuse me? But who is this?
You know who I am. I'm the father of today's wedding bride. I've been looking forward to this wedding for a long, long time. And so today, I'm going to meet with her.
Hold on for a moment. What are you talking about? Do you still think that you're her father? Even after a whole 20 years have gone by and you've said nothing to either one of us, what are you trying to do by texting me all of a sudden?
I wanted to tell you that I'm going to that wedding. This is going to be a very emotional day for all of us when I finally get to see the daughter of mine that was taken from me.
Huh? I'm not quite sure how you even figured out where her wedding would be today, or that she was even getting married in the first place. But stop trying to be obnoxious by sending me all these texts.
Well, I'm the father of the bride. So I'm allowed to be at that wedding.
This is getting out of hand. Can you please open your eyes for a sec? Do not come over here. Did you forget about the promise you made to me 20 years ago that allowed me to divorce you? Hey, are you listening to me right now?
Why did that happen? Why was everyone being so crazy with me when I got in there? Is everyone at that wedding a freak? Tossing me out of my own daughter's wedding? I'm her friggin' father!
Is it time that you'll be willing to open your dang eyes finally? The way you came in looking like trash and causing all that embarrassment for my daughter. And another thing, you need to stop calling my daughter yours.
Why do I have to stop? She's my daughter too.
After not even being in the hospital room with me while I gave birth, you threw us out. And then you chased after a young woman and left us for a very long time. And after 20 years, you're all of a sudden back here trying to get into my daughter's wedding? I can't think of another reason as to why you're doing this besides that you really messed up with your head while you've been gone.
You can call me messed up all you want, but what else was I supposed to do today? That young gal lied to me and got me stuck with her and all of the debt she had. And so me being messed up right now is not my dang fault. I was lied to and played for a fool. I didn't plan on turning into a bum after I left you.
I don't care what happened with you and that girl because I don't care about you. You're a stranger to us all, and you said you'd never come back to us, right? You promised that. She has no clue who you are, and she even said that to your face today.
And that was screwed up big time. That is not something she should ever say to her parents. Have you not been raising her properly this whole time? Are you sure this is all because you're too old and can't handle kids?
What? What the hell are you trying to do right now after saying things like that about my daughter and I? You're blaming my way of raising her because she was so worried by some random men coming into her wedding and having him thrown out? I don't want to hear that crap out of your mouth ever again after you left us when she was only just born. If you want to know who's really at fault for today, I'd say your parents are because they obviously didn't raise you right. Well, at this point, I'm sure you already know, and so do your parents.
I want to know who that man is. And the father of the... What's that all about?
Huh? That's the man I got married to. Are you acting as though I needed to tell you anything about him, though? Do you still not see that you have no right being around us right now?
Why was that man that you married sitting in the seat that was labeled for the bride's father? That's my frickin' seat. If you start pissing me off any more than I already am, things are gonna get scary for you. Go tell those 2 idiot security guards that I'm okay and let me come sit there.
Why are you getting upset with me for no reason? Do you think that making threats like that will get me worked up?
What?
I'm really worried about what's gotten into you that's made you so screwed in the head. You're the one that threw us away years ago, right? And after 20 years of realizing how badly you messed up, you came on my daughter's biggest day looking like garbage to do what? Why the hell are you here, Randy? And why do you think you have any right to be here? Do you need something from us? Tell me right now.
You're the real piece of garbage for getting married again without telling me. I came back here to get my family back together.
Get your family back together? Huh? Do you think that my daughter and I are your family or something, Randy? We have a new family now, and you're not part of it. All you are is some stranger that we're starting to think might need to visit a psych ward. I don't want to hear anything about how upset you are that I got married again when you were the one that got divorced to me to run off with a young woman. I think you better zip that mouth of yours and keep it zipped.
Give me that seat back. She's my daughter.
Come on, Randy. It was nice of you to make me laugh a little, but your joke is getting old now. You have never even met my daughter before. So why do you keep thinking that she's your daughter after it's been 20 years? I think the only reason you've come out here for her is because you're broke. And so, this is all out of desperation now. That kind of thinking is only something a complete lunatic would have.
You don't have to take it that far. I am a bit worried about money right now. But I didn't come today for that reason.
Then, what's your reason for being here? Tell me right now.
I had heard that she was going to get married, and so I asked a friend about it that knows her. And she told me that the wedding will be taking place close by, so I thought it would be okay for me to come and see it. I was hoping for a very dramatic reunion after 20 years of never seeing any of you. I wanted us to all be crying out of happiness for being able to see one another again. But now that things have become so hectic, I have no idea what I'm doing here anymore. I had believed that we could all talk about each other's lives again.
Wait, why did you think that we'd all be open arms to you? There's no reason for us to be, right? There was no way this was going to turn into some sort of dramatic reunion. Have you even noticed the contradiction there is in your plan?
What?
You have never even met my daughter before.
And why does that mean anything? How would that contradict anything in my plans for today? I'm her father, and so she should be all happy and crying to see me.
You act like this would be a reunion with her, but this was her first time ever seeing you. Asking to have a dramatic reunion when you need to introduce yourself to her first? How come you thought this would actually play out so well for you?
Now that you say it back to me, I'm sure it would have been odd. But that's not all. She's my daughter, right?
I'm too tired to talk with you anymore about this. Did you think that being related to her by blood made you her father? I'm sorry, Randy, but my husband has been with my daughter since she was 3 years old and has helped me raise her since then. And so she calls my husband the father, and there's no changing that now. To her, it does not matter whether she's related to her by blood or not.
There's no way. That's a frickin' lie.
You don't have to be able to believe it, but we all think that we're a family, and you can't do a thing about that. So, you can say what you want about us, but don't think it's going to bother us. We have nothing to do with you after all.
Even if she does see him as her father, she should still be a little curious about her real father, right? That's the whole reason I came here today to see her. Does me being here on her wedding day not make her really happy?
I think she does want to know more about her real father. It's normal for anyone to want to get to know their real parents if they never grew up knowing them. But I think after today, she no longer wants to get to know you.
Huh? Why?
You're asking me? Ha! Are you really that dense? You came into her wedding in some raggedy clothes and covered in what looks like soot. And you made a complete fool of yourself, embarrassing her on her wedding day. That right there might have just scarred her a little.
Scarred her? Why would that scar her any?
She's told me that she never wants you coming around her again now. Of course, she doesn't want you here anymore. And even after the wedding, she doesn't want you showing up. If you do come around her, or the rest of us again, we're calling the police and having you arrested. My husband knows a lot of the police officers in town, so he can make things happen quickly. So having you eradicated is all too easy for us.
Why would you do something like that to me? I only came here to see my daughter's wedding.
You just want the money that her husband has, right? And that's why we had you kicked out of there.
I don't know anything about her husband's money. Why would I know anything about that?
I can see that things are still not lining up in your reasoning. Well, it doesn't matter if you came here for his money or not, because he really has nothing to do with you. You're just the average bum to him is all. You ended up ruining your own life chasing after young girls, and that's why you came to this wedding today, hoping for some kind of money or something. Disgusting. You have nothing you can do to us now, so get lost.
I never thought you'd say such things to me. Does my daughter think the same thing of me?
You don't even know my daughter's name, so what do you think? I think after what you've seen today, you should finally understand, right? She doesn't want you around her anymore. You're just a ghost to her that hasn't been alive for the past 20 years, so you can stop trying to get involved with our lives. Now, goodbye!
Wait, please! Her husband has a lot of money then. Can you ask him just to give me a small amount? I just need enough to help myself get back on my own 2 feet again.
No. This was about money. Huh. You deserve to have no money, Randy, so I wouldn't want you getting spoiled by anyone. It was you, after all, that made your life the way it is now, right? So stop whining about not having money when you asked for it in the first place. Haha.
After that, Randy wasn't only thrown out of the wedding and never let back into it, but after throwing a huge fit in front of the wedding hall, the police came and gave him a citation for public disturbance. And after that, Liz and her family told the police that he'd been causing trouble for them all day, and now he's not allowed anywhere near them or else the police will arrest him, as Liz, her husband, and her daughter all put a restraining order on him. Once that had all played out, Randy was still left with a large amount of debt, and slowly began to fall victim to it. I think he's finally starting to regret everything he did in the end to Liz and her daughter. But to be honest, him regretting things now is way too late, and he should have been regretting what he's done a whole lot sooner when he may still have a chance with Liz.
Whoa, Yolanda, what's your deal? Do you seriously just have no shame or something? I honestly want you to know, how can you live with yourself the way that you are? It is honestly just shocking to me and I don't understand it at all. Sorry, Brittany, but what exactly are you talking about? What exactly are you saying that I should be ashamed of? I'm not sure that I'm really following what you're trying to get at it. I mean, your whole existence, that's what you should be embarrassed about. Do you really not see what I'm talking about at all? Let's look at some face. You're a housewife who lives with people she's not related to and just leeches off their goodwill. How does it feel to have that to be your life? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? I really don't think that I could ever live with myself if that was my life. I mean, what kind of person would ever think that it's okay to live the way that you are? It really is just said, you know? Brittany, what in the world are you talking about? I seriously don't understand where you're getting off. First of all, I'm not just a housewife, as you said. I'm literally staying at home to take care of your mother who needs a live-in nurse. And the only reason that I'm doing this is because my husband, your brother, asked me to quit my job and do this. So do you still think that I should be embarrassed about what I do for a living? Oh, please, enough with those pathetic excuses. I don't even want to hear them from you. You really think that you can be a good person if you don't even have a job? All you do lays around someone else's house while you use up all of your money? Even just thinking about the way you abuse my family like that just makes me sick. Abuse your family? Did you seriously just say that? How on earth am I being abusive at all? You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm talking about financial abuse. I know that you're just using up all my parents' money with the way that you're living, and you really thought that no one would notice? Or maybe you just thought that no one would care, but everyone knows that all you are is a parasite. It sounds to me like you're just deciding for yourself what I am and what I'm not. But I can assure you that I'm hardly a housewife, and if you think that my life is so easy, then why don't you try living here and taking care of your mom full-time? And then I can go out and get a job, and I promise you that I won't ever call you the kinds of things that you call me. You wish it was that simple as trading places. But unlike you, I'm someone with actual skills, and I have better things to do than waste my time at home. Skills? You really think that I'm doing this because I can't find a job or something? You seriously need to grow up if you think that's the case. I literally quit my career to move in and take care of your mom full-time, and you have the nerve to tell me that I'm not fit to work? Just where do you get off when saying that someone else does, huh? You have got a real chip on your shoulder. Oh, but I'm not the only one that's saying these things, you know. My brother feels exactly the same way as I do. I'm sure of it. Wait a second, you mean that even Dean feels this way? That's right, even your own husband thinks that you're utterly useless. How does it feel to know that, Yolanda? I bet it hurts, doesn't it? But if you really don't believe me, then why don't you go and try asking him yourself? Maybe I will go and do just that. Thank you very much. Hey Dean, are you there? You and I have some serious talking to do. I just heard from your sister that you and her both looked down on me behind my back. I know that Britt did it, but do you really think that too? She was telling me how embarrassing it was that I was a housewife and that you were embarrassed of me too. I tried telling her that you were the one that asked me to quit my job and do this in the first place, but she just wouldn't listen.
Wait, what? Is our stupid little slave really trying to ask if I ever had any faith in her to do anything else? I don't remember giving you permission to ask me these kinds of stupid questions. But if you must know, you're taking care of my mom because there's nothing else that you're good for.
Wait, what? Dean, you can't be serious about this, right? Did you honestly forget that you were the one that asked me to do this? I mean, I can't believe that your sister was right. You're both just horrible. But if you think that you can get away with treating me like this, then you must be an even bigger idiot than Britt.
The only idiot here is you stupid moron.
I don't understand what's gotten into you, Dean. You told me that if anyone asked questions about why I had quit my job, that you would explain I was doing this for your family. But instead, you just turn around and make fun of me alongside your sister? I mean, I'm literally taking care of your sick mother. Does that not mean anything to you either?
Oh please, you think you're so amazing just because you're taking care of my dear old mom? What do you want, a medal or something?
I don't believe this. I literally can't believe that you're treating me this way. It's just absurd.
Well, my sister was dead on about you. All you do is hang around the house doing nothing while you pretend like you're so busy always looking after my mom. Meanwhile, all you're really doing is using up my family's money. Money that should be left for us, their kids. But instead, you just relax all day and don't have to worry about a thing.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I had no idea that you felt this way about me whatsoever. I mean, why did you even ask me to do this in the first place?
Of course I feel this way about you. I've always felt this way about you. But I don't see why it's worth getting upset about it when I'm only telling the truth. You aren't good enough to do anything but stay at home all day. And while you're doing that, you're just using up my parents' money and taking it easy.
Oh, really? You think that I'm not working at all? You think that this is so easy? Then why don't you try it and I'll go back to my job?
Get real. You couldn't find a job no matter how hard you tried. And unlike you, I have duties and responsibilities to my company. I can't just quit to take care of some old bat. That is obviously way more suited to you since there's really nothing else that you'd be good for anyways.
You're so far up your own butt. You can probably see the sunshine out of your mouth. You literally asked me to quit my job to take care of your mom. And I've been. And every single day comes with new challenges and difficulties, and I can't believe you're treating me like this.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's so hard feeding my mom applesauce for lunch, or whatever it is that you really do all day. I'm sure that life is just so difficult for you being home all day. I mean, you don't even have a job. What do you actually do while the rest of us are out there in the real world working?
What is the matter with you, Dean? Are you trying to make me upset? Do you want a divorce or something? Is that what you're getting at here?
Well, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to getting one. I can tell you that much.
You're really serious about that, aren't you? Whoa, Whoa.
In fact, since all you're doing is eating away at Britt and I's inheritance, I don't really think that our family even needs you anymore. You're a useless woman, and even more, useless wife.
Oh really? You think that I'm totally useless around the house? Why don't you go and ask your mom if she agrees with that?
And just why in the world do you think I would care about what that old bat has to say? I'm doing plenty for her right now with my salary. She doesn't need you, and she probably doesn't even realize the way that you've been taking advantage of her this whole time.
So you and your sister really think that I'm nothing better than a parasite on your family?
We don't think that. We know it. It's been obvious and you know it too. So quit playing dumb. You really think that you get to have the run of the house just because you nurse my mother? You're a housewife, and a useless one at that, and nothing more. And now that my sister and I are both on the same page about you, it's clear that I have no other choice at all but to divorce you.
And then if you really want to do this, let's do this then. I'll be happy to leave if it meant that I'll get rid of you and your sister.
Finally, we'll finally be free. All the years of having to support you and the months of having you lounge around the house, it's all finally going to end.
I don't even know how to start with that one. I mean, wow. You and your sister are just delusional, and I can't get out of this situation fast enough. Have a nice life. Or don't. I really don't care. I've already gotten the divorce papers ready here, and I've signed them. They'll be waiting for you on the table when you get back home.
Wait, you already have the divorce papers ready to go? Well, aren't you misprepared?
That's right, but now that this is happening, it can't happen fast enough. If you think I'm a parasite, then fine. I'll happily leave from where I'm not wanted, and it's clear that you're sick of having to support me since I'm so useless. So let's just end this whole thing and be done with each other forever.
Yolanda, are you there? Please, you have to pick up the phone. This is really, really serious. I'm begging you here.
What is it? What do you want? Whatever it is, you can just text it here. Because I don't have time to call, nor do I want to hear your voice.
Please, things are going really badly here. You have to come back and help us. You're the only person we can turn to.
Can you quit freaking out in your messages and just tell me what is it that you want? I mean, you've got some nerve even coming to ask me for help after the way that you've treated me. Not only did you basically force me to quit my job to take care of your mom, but then you and your sister both were constantly putting me down for doing the thing that you asked me to do. I'm sorry, but I really just don't want to say anything or do anything to do with you ever again. Actually, I'm not sorry about that at all.
No, please, you don't understand. Ever since you left, my mom has been asking my sister and I which one of us is gonna take care of her now. Britt and I have been fighting ever since you left, and things are getting really bad here. You have to come back and help us.
Really? Is that what's happening? Well, I say it serves you two both right to have that to happen. But you were the ones who chased me out of the house, so I'm not going to come back. If you're really so upset about this though, you can always just pay for a live-in nurse to take care of your mom. Of course, I have no idea how you'll be able to afford something like that, but it is an idea. But you are out of your mind if you think that you can come back to me and ask me to go back to what I was doing, because that is simply not going to happen.
Well, the thing is that Britt tried doing the nursing for a little bit. She actually quit her job because she thought that it was going to be so easy, kind of like how you had it. But after 2 days of taking care of my mom, she had enough and was demanding that I do it instead. But I told her that there was no way I was going to do it, and that we should just look into a nursing service. But then my mom started complaining about how she only wanted someone she knew to be there taking care of her. And we don't know any nurses or people looking to do that kind of work, and people are getting so mad at each other. And my dad ended up throwing me out of the house over this. That's how bad things have gotten without you here to look after my mom.
So basically, it sounds to me like you're just paying for the mistake of throwing me out of the house. If you don't think any further ahead of what you all were doing to do once I was gone, then that is entirely on you, Dean. I mean, what's your plan for taking care of your mom if I wasn't there?
But You mean, you knew this was going to happen?
I figured that you probably put zero thought into this, and weren't thinking at all when you said that you wanted a divorce. I was wondering if you already had someone in mind who could take care of your mom. But it's clear to me now that you have no idea what you're doing. But this is what you get for acting like such an idiot. You really thought everything was just going to fall into place after you chased me out of the house? You know that I never even wanted to quit my job, but you gave me no other choice. You guilted me into doing it because you told me you had nobody else you could ask to take care of your mom. And then you divorced me and chased me out of the house, and you still haven't found anyone else?
Okay. I get it. I messed up, and I'm really sorry about that, okay? But can you please just come back? I need you here. We all need you here.
Well, I'm afraid that it's not quite simple, Dean.
What is that supposed to mean? What isn't that simple? Are you really not going to come back?
I mean that I have other things going on in my life, and I don't have time to come up and clean your messes.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. My parents told me something really strange, and I need you to come back here so we can fix all of this. My parents told me that they were going to leave everything in their will to you. Isn't that nuts? You have to come back here and tell them they're crazy.
Oh, that, yeah. I already knew all about that. Your dad reached out to me to let me know about it.
Wait, my dad already told you about all of this? Are you kidding me? So then, that means they were really serious about that. I don't believe it! How can they betray their own children like this to someone who isn't even part of the family?
I think I proved myself to be a greater part of the family to your parents in the time that I was there with your mom than you or your sister ever did.
But that still isn't fair. Why should you get what should rightfully be Britt and I's? I hate it. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know why you're asking that to me when the decision is entirely up to your dad. I didn't have anything to do with this at all.
Well, whatever. We can figure this out later. But you just need to come back here right away because there is a lot of work for you to do back home. The whole place is a mess without you.
And you think that I'm just going to come back running and clean up all your kisses for you? You can count me out.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I'm going to ignore every single request that make of me. And you want to know why? It's because we're divorced. I'm not your wife. You're not my husband, and I don't owe you anything.
Hold on a second. You can't be serious, right? Come on, you're just being totally ridiculous. I mean, I'll even let you live with us again.
You mean that you wanted me to come back and fix all your problems, and you weren't even going to let me live there? Not that I would even want that in the first place. The answer is still no. I mean, the whole time that I was staying at home to take care of your mom, and you and your sister put me down as leech. But now you realize that without me, the whole house and your lives are falling apart. You did this to yourself, and I'm not going to help you out of this one.
Please, I'm really sorry. You're right. You're not a leech, and we need you. I realize that now.
Well, I'm glad that you do, but it's far too late for me to do anything about it for you both right now. You and I are over. So you and Britt can just keep fighting over who should be taking care of your mom.
But we can't. At this rate, this is gonna tear us apart. Please, my dad is already so mad at me. And my mom is sad too. I'm sad. How could they do this to their own son? And all because you're not here? It isn't fair.
It sounds to me like you just can't face up to the consequences of your actions, Dean.
No, it's not that at all. But even my dad said I'm useless as a son.
Well, I have to say that I strongly agree with your dad on that one.
But it isn't true. I work so hard at my job every day. I'm not useless.
Dean, I can't remember the last time that you paid for anything in the house. You've been even nothing but selfish, and your dad is right to put you down like that. You thought that I was a leech, but you've been the one expecting everyone else to do your work and pay for everything for you.
You don't really feel that way, do you? Because it isn't true and it's not fair. Please, what can I do to make you come back to us? I don't know how we're supposed to carry on at this rate.
You still haven't given him a single good reason why I should do anything for you or your family. I sacrificed so much for you, and I got nothing but insults and condescension in return. You threw me out of the house, and now the same thing is happening to you, and I say good. I don't know or care what it is that you'll think of doing next, but just leave me out of it.
But what about my inheritance? You can't just take that away from me. Hey, why aren't you responding? You can't just leave me like this. You have to help me.
After that, I heard that even Brittany was kicked out of the house and that their parents moved into a nursing home. They even invited me over to see it one day. And we were able to catch up a bit. I felt bad for leaving Dean's mom in that position, but I felt like I had already done enough. I told them both that they didn't need to give me anything and that they should save their money for the nursing home. As for Dean and Brittany, I didn't even bother to ask what they were up to because the less I know, the better. As for me, after moving out, I went to go and live with my own parents for a little bit. I explained to them what happened and they were happy to let me stay with them until I found a new job. It wasn't long after that it happened and I was able to move out. It took me some time to get used to living on my own and working full-time again, but it was the most fulfilling that I had done in months. Although it's also strange getting used to the single life, I have to say that I prefer it far more than being married to Dean.